What could you do to protect your pets if you're sick or injured? My product, Save My Pet ID tag, helps you ensure that your beloved pets are safe and well cared for, even when life isn't what you expect.
You know what the world needs more of? Goodwill purring ambassadors. I'm talking cool cats. Cats that can travel with you. Cats that can do meet and greets. Cats that you can maybe eat at an outdoor restaurant, much to the disdain and startlement of dogs. Well, our special guest has one such fine feline. She is quite a force in the world of pets. She is very good in media, marketing talents. Now she's traveling around with a very remarkable orange tabby named Franklin. Please welcome to our show, Mary Tan of Whisker Media, and of course, Frankie. Welcome, Mary.
Look who I have here.
Okay. All right. For our radio folks, this is one remarkable young purring machine named, what's the full name of your cat?
Franklin Delano Tan. And he is named after the president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, because he is a deal maker and you must negotiate.
It's a deal maker.
Sometimes we just call him Mr. President.
Mr. President. Awesome. How did you get your paws on Mr. President?
I vacation relief foster for the Bitty Kitty Brigade.
I love
here
that
in Minnesota. And I just came across him. I looked after his litter for 2 weeks while his foster mom was in Europe. And I wasn't looking for a cat, but I was looking for a specific cat that might be able to travel with me.
Okay.
And I had discovered his fearlessness when he was maybe 5-6 weeks old.
Really?
And at the time, yes, I was working for Animal Humane Society as their PR manager. And I had reached out to their behavior team. And I also reached out to other behaviorists to get some advice on Franklin to see if he could possibly be a therapy cat. And they did all these different tests, which including just throwing a really loud pan on the floor.
And what did he do?
He ran away, but he came back within 5 seconds.
Wow.
And that is a really good test, how fast they recover from being scared.
Yeah.
And so he just hit all of the points. He could, he is just fearless, wasn't scared of anything. And it was very food motivated. And so you can really drive.
That's a Benny. If you can get a cat that is food motivated. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And so that's how I got Franklin.
So how old is Franklin now?
Franklin is now about 2.5 years old. He's perfect in every way except for one thing, in that he has allergies and eczema.
Oh,
so he is going through allergy shots right now. But
what he's allergic to?
Yes, we are allergic to the same thing, which is specifically tree pollen.
Oh, so how does it manifest in Frankie?
So he has, as soon as I adopted him, he kept having this black crud in his ears.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, the rescue didn't check for ear mites. Totally wrong. It was yeast and just yucky stuff from his allergies.
Okay.
So now I have to give him, he's on multiple medications. And I don't know if you've dealt with allergies before, but with cats, it takes about a year for the medication to work in. So he's going through allergy shots now.
Well, I wish him the best, and I hope he has very clean-smelling ears. But I like that quality. Is he your first orange tabby ever?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that. There's a legend about orange tabbies. They're not a breed. They're a color, actually red. So what's the deal? Everybody goes, oh, get yourself an orange tabby. Well, I have an orange tabby named Pet Safety Cat Casey, and he is like Franklin. He is bulletproof. And he is social. He has never met a stranger or a strange place. What is it, Mary Tan, about the orange tabby?
They have a reputation. In fact, a lot of therapy cats are orange tabbies. They just have the right demeanor.
Yeah, we need to bottle that up.
Yes, it's so fascinating. Like when I look at all the other therapy cats out there, a lot of them are orange tabbies. It's got to be the demeanor. There's very few. I mean, orange tabbies as a whole, I guess as a breed, are very friendly. I haven't met too many mean ones in my life. There's a few out there, but I think for some reason there's something in their genetics that makes them very amenable to doing therapy and traveling kind of work.
Well, we want to dive in a little bit about the adventures of Mary Tan and Franklin, Mr. President, in a second, but I want people to get to know you a little bit. You've been a force in the pet industry for what, 15, 20 years now? And how did you come to start Whisker Media? And I love your motto.
Yeah. So we're Whisker Media. We're a pet strategic communications agency. So we do everything related to animals in, media relations, thought leadership, crisis communications, internal communications. So a lot of people don't know, PR is part of marketing. Yes. I am not really a marketer, which marketing is more is pay for play. So you buy an ad and it gets published. With me, it's like reaching out to you or, the media in Dallas or the Today Show, Good Morning America. You have to reach out to the producers. And so that's what I try to do. It's called earned media.
But you have that background because you were in on television.
Yes. I worked in TV news for 13 years. All the way from the local level to I reported for CNN, Fox, and NBC News as well. Wow. And so, that is, I would say hands down, I would say television coverage is what my strength is, just because I came from that world, right?
Well, and they also, when you pitch them, you know what to pitch and how to pitch. So they're like, oh, this one's a yes, because Mary knows her stuff. She's not going to bring us somebody that's going to freeze on camera.
Yes. I mean, it's an art form though, but it is difficult. A lot of people are not like you, Arden, that are really calm and, savvy on camera. A lot of them need coaching. So that's kind of part what I do too.
That's good.
So yeah. So our motto is bark loud and purr smart.
Oh, I like it. Bark loud and purr smile. And how do people find you?
They can just go to whiskermedia.com, and we're working on getting our social media up to snuff. We do so much with other people's social media that we kind of neglect our own, but I've had clients say, you really need to do your own social media. So we this whole next month, we've taken on less clients so we can really focus on that.
So you've been someone like myself. You've always seen the value of teaming up with dogs and cats, right? Mm-hmm. So I know Josie was the late great dog of yours. How long did you have Josie?
Gosh, about 14 years.
Okay. So are there any dogs in the house now?
Not yet, because I'm going to be honest. This little therapy cat named Franklin, the president, is causing havoc.
Oh,
he's kind of beating up my older cat named Farley Wattlesworth. And it's interesting.
Maybe it's the name, Mary. No offense.
Well, Farley's really Dr. Farley Wattlesworth. He has a PhD in feline studies from the University of Feline Studies.
You know what PhD stands for? It usually stands for pretty happy dog.
Yeah.
I don't know how this cat got a PhD, but that's a whole new other story.
That's true. Yeah. So many therapy cats don't like other animals. And I have found that to be true. Like your little orange boy is way different, or both of your little orange boys.
Oh, well, actually, we need to make a confession right here on Four-Legged Life. Right now, right here. Casey is a certified therapy cat. He loves all people. He loves all dogs. He loves just a few cats.
Yeah.
So I keep him away from other cats because he wants to go.
Yes.
And little Rusty loves everyone. But I'm telling you that Casey isn't perfect. And I think that's okay because no one's perfect. So we'll talk more about this, but we're going to take a quick break, everybody. And we're going to dive into the world of President, or AKA Franklin, who teams up with Mary Tan of Whisker Media after we take this quick break. And you know the drill. We got to sit and purr. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Hey, welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I am talking with one of my good pals. Her name is Mary Tan. She is the founder of Whisker Media. The coolest thing is, though, you probably now lately don't see her without her four-legged pal. He is an orange tabby named Frankie Franklin, president. She's got a host of names for him. And I think for this segment, people are really curious to offer ways that a cat can go with you on an airplane. What do you pack? How do you keep tabs on their stress levels? And I think you've been at some outdoor cafes and big global events for pets, but let's get to it because people are starting to want to travel more with their cats.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was talking to somebody with Delta Airlines last week when I was in Denver, and they said they are seeing more and more animals fly, including cats.
Yeah.
Now, every airline allows, I believe it's 4 per plane.
You got to book early.
Yeah. So you should book early because they have sold out. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to fly during the holidays. I mean, the 4 pet rule is, it can easily when there's 200 passengers. So one thing I did to start, and I would suggest everybody, is you've got to start young and you also have to respect them.
Yeah.
So when little Franklin was probably 6-7 weeks, we went to the airport. We weren't going anywhere.
In Minnesota, Minneapolis, you just went to the airport with your cat?
Yep. We went to the airport. I pushed him in a stroller. I put him in a harness and leash. And we just walked up and down the ticketing and baggage terminals. And I'm like feeding him treats the whole time.
Good idea. Good idea. Yeah.
And now when we go to the airport, he associates the airport with food and he loves it. So he's excited to go to the airport.
That's a great tip. That's a great tip. What about, here's the other thing. I travel with my cat, Casey, and we have a collapsible stroller and we have a airline approved in the cabin carrier that kind of mushes down and all. So you've got to carry a carrier, a stroller, litter pan, litter treats. Do you feel like you're packing more for your cat than yourself?
Yes, I'm always packing. In fact, I forgot a whole bunch of clothes for myself when I was in Denver because I had packed everything for Franklin. And, initially I was packing way too much because especially the first time I flew with him, I was pretty nervous.
Okay, that's good.
But now it's become pretty second nature.
So
And
what
I
are some
usually
things you could
fly.
say? So what are you packing for him? Just to make sure so people know because you don't want to forget something.
Yeah. So I always carry the animal. It's at least on Delta, it's $95 one way. And
Americans $150 each way.
What?
Yeah.
My gosh. So it varies between airline to airline. And so I always am on a backpack because I'm carrying him. So I do check in the stroller.
And when do you check in the stroller? At the gate or at the counter?
So I've done it both ways. When you check in at the gate, of course, you don't have to pay. But I have been checking it in recently because I'm a Delta Sky Miles member.
Okay.
And so, but because, it's just always easier to get rid of things as you go. So I figured out how to travel light. So in that backpack is everything he could possibly need if he has especially an accident on the plane. And he's only had one, but that's because the person I was with was giving him food he'd never eaten before. And I'm like, why did you do that? So he had diarrhea on the plane.
Oh, that's good at 12,000 feet up in the air.
Yes, but it was
Casey's
actually
playing around. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was easy to fix. So I just rushed him to the bathroom and I, put down the diaper deck thing they have and I cleaned him up.
Poor guy.
So, but you need wipes.
Yep.
And then I have these moist towels. They're called Mr. Tom's Magic Towels. And you wet them and they turn into so you can give them a bath.
Nice. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
What
And
about,
they're,
how do you pack a litter box and a litter? Because litter isn't light.
so they have foldable ones.
Okay.
But I actually got one through the Surfer Cat, through Maverick Surfer Cat. They have a really small, it's really a Tupperware container.
Okay.
And it's
Does it
perfect.
fit in the carrier?
It fits in a carrier. It fits in their carrier. They have a special carrier where the litter box is at the bottom. But Franklin seems to prefer this other one that has a clear top so he can see me when I'm sitting there and he's down on the floor.
Okay.
There's
So you
so
know
many
your
on
cat.
Amazon that you can
Yeah.
find. The wipes, the litter box, and then the litter box is always, at least here in Minneapolis and in Denver, I always get stopped because of the litter.
They
Do
think
you?
You're transporting something devious. It's
Yes.
litter.
And it's pretty obvious I have a cat with me, but they're like, and they put the drops in and stuff.
Yes. That's happened to
And
me.
then, yes. And then the other thing is so we're kind of going all over the place, but when you go through the TSA line, you take
Yes.
the animal out and the carrier goes through the security and then you hold your cat and walk through the security thingy. But then they do something with your hands. I can't remember what that is. You've done it
Checking
too.
to make sure you don't have anything on you. Yeah. And so the tip I always do, make sure that cat's in a leash and a harness.
Yes. Yeah. So he's in his favorite orange leash and harness. And by the way, not all brands are equal because
Yes.
one that I had, he hated and it was it wasn't that great. So make sure you bring you bring their favorite
And it
stuff. And then
fits
I
well.
also,
Yeah.
yeah. And then before we board the flight, so he's on a leash and harness when we wait in line to get through security because I want him to be tired by the time we get on the plane.
Okay.
And then we try to walk to the gate on a leash, but that can take forever because everybody's petting him. And
Okay.
the zigzag.
Yes.
So we always get to the airport very like an extra hour early. And then I'm walking him. Once we get to the gate, I'm walking him and everybody wants to pet him. And then I take the litter box out and he knows he better use it because he might have a long stay. So he's
That is good.
really good.
Wow.
He's really good at using it. And then by the time we get on the plane, he's exhausted. And I also bring a little string toy that I can play with him because I really want him tired. And that just works. And so he's super quiet on the plane, except takeoff and landing can be a little rough.
Well, that's for anybody, the pressure in your ears and things like that. I've been told that we should not take our cat out of the carrier during a flight. And I hope you don't, but do you?
So I don't, but my assistant, Alex, who flies overseas back and forth, she just moved from France to Vancouver. That's 14 hours.
Wow.
And she takes her cat and just takes a blanket. And now her cat, Franklin would be wandering all over the area. So
Probably
that's
telling dad jokes, Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really take him out. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a see-through mesh top on my carrier so that he can see me. He can talk to me if he wants to. But Alex has done total transatlantic flights. I think if you have a scared cat, you could do it because they're not going to leave. They're going to be scared. But the flight attendants, that's another thing. They're not equal. I've had flight attendants
consistent. Yeah.
they're like, can I just see him?
Yeah. I'm careful because I don't know if the person next to me is allergic or hates cats. And I always felt like if I took Casey out, then he knows he can come out. And he's got a very loud voice. So Casey just kind of hangs. I've had people say, I didn't even know you had a cat there. I'm like, yeah. So,
Yes.
So the other thing besides airlines, though, is I'm just looking at your Facebook page, and I think, let's see, in the last few months, you've been to airports, obviously. You've been doing events in the Minnesota area, but you've been to Vegas, you've been to Boulder, Colorado, and where else?
Orlando.
Jeez.
Tons of trips to Wisconsin because that's where my dad's house is. I mean, we've gone everywhere. I mean, predominantly plane and car rides.
Mm-hmm.
And Franklin is really good in the car, but he hates being in the carrier. So he's pretty good at just sitting next to me.
Yep. Let's talk about he goes to Colorado to blog pause.
Yeah.
And it's different because it's a cat, not a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that?
Yes.
How do you size up the crowd to say, okay, I think this is okay for Franklin to be pet and things like that? How do you kind of maintain control? Because you got to be a mama bear a little bit.
Yeah. So he is always under my control or somebody else that I trust. He was under your control.
I know. He was really good with me. I'm his awesome aunt.
Yes. So because of my business, Franklin is actually part of my PR packages and contracts.
Okay.
So I promise, especially cat brands, that Franklin will be there. Franklin does a phenomenal job selling things. I have been told that by numerous people. I've seen it. We were at a cat show and we were with a catnip company and he went wild on the catnip and all of the people came over and were just watching him and they're like, I'm going to get some of that stuff. So he sells.
So you got your cat high for a good cause.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he also does nice things where he goes to like nursing homes, right? Because tell us about a recent visit in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Yes, we go to a assisted living facility called The Waters. The people are so wonderful there. They are a memory care facility. So they start where they're somewhat independent and then they move up to where it's full care. And he goes there and we have been held hostage. There's this wonderful lady named Ruth. She's 98 years old, has had 12 cats and her whole life loves cats and had created a photo album of every cat she's ever owned. And so when we go there, the nursing staff has to pull us out because we could be there for 2 hours.
And that could be us decades from now. We might be.
I think it will be.
And that's all right. So we got to kind of wrap this up, but what's your parting message you can say to people? Because you're thinking outside the box. I'm not just talking the litter box. It's not a dog you're traveling with. You're traveling with a cat. And I feel your joy, but I also feel like you're a trailblazer.
Oh, but I follow you, Arden. You're the trailblazer.
Let's inspire, let's motivate. What's some parting message you can give folks?
I want everybody to know that cats are not second-class pets to dogs. They are very trainable. They can do whatever dogs do. Just like dogs, you need to find the right one that has the personality you're looking for. And there's so many animals in shelter that fit this personality. And there's so many resources online. Like Surfer Cat has a line of training videos. I love Cat School. Yeah. And it's free. It's on YouTube. There's so many resources and so many new pet product innovations coming out there. I've seen there's so many travel litter boxes now. There's more and more different kind of carriers out there. Yeah. And so you can train them. Clicker training. I do clicker training in the airport with Franklin, and you can too. And you know what? It's not expensive to do this.
No, not at all. Is he available for a goodbye? Quick goodbye?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's right here. Well, actually, he was sleeping.
Hey, Mr. Franklin, Mr. President, it's Arden, your awesome aunt. I just want you to know I'm so proud of you. and you are up in the cred for cats all over the place. Everybody, it's been an honor to have on our show today Mary Tan of Whisker Media and the remarkable Orange Tabby, Frankie, Mr. President, just don't be late for a treat. Feline, right?
Yes, exactly. And I want to thank you, Arden, for all you do for pets, because you are the ultimate trailblazer and you have a voice out there to change the world for cats. And
me? Wow, that's what we're doing,
Yes.
girl.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Four-Legged Life.
Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.
Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.